Alright, let's get out of the way. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment if you like. The well-weighted, big shonen title, Mashle. Is it good? Is it bad? Well, let's just look into the episode. So I guess the story takes place in Disneyland because everyone can use magic and it's a fantasy world where everyone's flying in the sky and that's just how it is. And there's dragons in the forest as well. But there's one special character who doesn't do any of that. Instead, he lifts heavy weights and eats a lot and tries to gain muscle every single day as much as he can. And that guy's name is Mashle, the main character. So there's an old man who used to be very stressed, but now he's become so old that he's been able to just calm down every situation he's in. Until Mashle's trying to open the door, but he can't seem to open it, so he just cracks open the door. And the old guy says, "Why'd you open it like that?" So one thing I don't understand is, why is he using his wand to put tea in the cup? Isn't it just as easy as grabbing it with your hand? And his grandpa explains to Mashle that he can't use magic at all because that's just the way he was born. But he doesn't cry about it at all. He's just, wow, is that so? And then his grandpa tells him that he should never, ever go into the city ever. And then he says, "Okay, I'll see you later." He runs his fucking ass all the way to the city real quick. And why does he go to the city? Because he has a sweet tooth and he really likes bakery goods. And his really quirky power is that he's super strong. So when he tries to pay for his bread, the coins are really crushed. And then there's two really unusual fucking things that happen. So he comes into the city with a hood on to cover his identity. When he's trying to get the food, his hood blows back and everyone in the city for some reason takes a look. And everyone's like, "Unbelievable, so shocking, he's different." Like, how the fuck is everyone actually looking at him? Two, everyone's looking at this guy and there's a big scene, but for some reason, the baker is so into his work that he's not even paying attention to all this drama that's happening in front of him. He's just, and he's green for some reason. But I shouldn't be surprised because they're fucking dragons. So there's a school in this world that if you get awarded best of the year, then you just don't go from nobody to someone famous. You get a bag and everyone respects you. But then we're introduced to this really aggressive guy who says, "Damn, this world is boring. There's nothing ever to do in this world." While there's a guy handcuffed and he's being beaten up by this guy. That's really realistic. Good job, anime. And so he's walking home thinking, I know I shouldn't be here. But then accidentally, while he's enjoying his cream puff, he bumps into a cop. And he's super drunk. He says, "Do you see the shit that you put on my shirt?" "I'm sorry, do you want a cream puff or something?" "But you bit that one. Why, you trying to indirect kiss me? You must want to fight me." So he puts away his cream puff and grabs his shirt and rips it off. And this guy's yelling so much that the guy was trying to find Mashle because he figured out that someone doesn't have a mark on their face. And he finally comes and said, "There we go. You're the criminal. You're the guy who doesn't have a mark. I'm gonna catch you." And then his old man grabs him and runs away really, really quickly. But he's pretty fucking stupid because this is a magic world and he just sends a falcon to go and get them. And I guess he was right. He's very calm. He doesn't really care that his son broke the door or went to the city even though he shouldn't have. And other shit that is really bothersome, but he doesn't care. And as punishment, he says, "Go and train, and you gotta train even harder today." And so they live in this little hut out in the forest somewhere, and they end up finding him because of the damn crow. And they smash open the door, and I'm thinking, man, they must really hate that fucking door. Look, I'm no bodybuilder, but doing 5 minutes of whatever he's doing right there doesn't work out your whole body. But maybe he was just doing some specific exercises for specific targeted areas. So I guess I was wrong. They didn't bust down the door at all. It was just a random wall that they destroyed. And so when they get in there, they want to know where Mashle is. So he says, "No, I'll never tell you. I'd rather die." And they say, "Die? Fine." And they start choking him with their magic. And they keep throwing magic at him, but he thinks back to why he's the way he is. And growing up, I guess people told him that he was really useless and that he never did anything well. And this is coming from his mom, and she says, "You're a disgrace to the family." He'd get yelled at by other adults, and all he ever had to say was, I'm sorry I did that." And it really sucks because this wasn't just when he was a child. He grew up to be a full-grown adult and he'd still mess up a lot. But that's just the way it is. Not everyone's perfect, right? But he got the worst of it. Everyone called him useless, good for nothing, all that shit. I'm surprised he doesn't have a bad back from just all that bending down saying, I'm sorry. So he was ready to say his last sorry, and he was about to jump, but then out of nowhere, he hears a baby crying. He decides to raise this kid, and that's why they're not really related by blood, but they're really close. And while all this is happening, Mashle's standing outside the door hearing this happen, and I'm thinking, is there any chance he's not going to come in and whoop these guys' ass? No shot. Even though his grandpa was yelling, "Run, Mashle! Run, Mashle!" He goes in and punches a guy, rips the same cop's clothes off, and he slaps the shit out of him. So after beating up all the other guys, it's finally for the big boss. And he says, "I'm gonna use a magic that I've killed many dragons with." And he shoots it, and what does he do with it? He dribbles it, and he plays a lot of sports with the magic that he uses. Until Mashle uses his last attack. And even though he can't use magic, he borrows his dad's wand and he throws that shit and he cuts the guy and he says, "Oh, that's crazy, that hurt a lot." So he ends up giving up, but everyone knows that even if he kills this guy, the whole world's gonna look for Mashle and eventually they're gonna kill him and his grandpa. So they strike a deal. He says, "Alright, I'll tell you how to get rid of everyone so they don't chase you anymore, but you have to let me go." And Mashle loves his grandpa. It's the only person that he talks to every day. And he says, "If you want to see your grandpa die, just ignore what I said. What do you say, Mushroom Head?" "Alright, you've got a deal." So basically he's going to enroll into a school where if he's awarded the Student of the Year, that means he's accepted by God, which everyone will see him as a different type of person. So they won't be looking for him anymore. And so he goes to the school, and what does he have? They marked him on the face. Alright guys, that's the end of this video. Peace.